Ladies and gentlemen, students, teachers, inductees, and families, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the inaugural TUCS TMSS Wall of Fame ceremony. Please rise and join Mrs. Anderson and the TMSS Band in O Canada. This band represents one of the many facets of learning that we are celebrating this week under the provincial theme, Learning is for Everyone. We'll just pause for a moment. Now to share some opening remarks, please welcome our TMSS Principal, Mr. Norm Cassavant.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the unveiling of the TMSS Wall of Fame. I would like to extend a special welcome to our guests of honor, their family and friends, and all community members who have taken time out of their busy schedules to attend this special evening with us tonight. A year ago, our school goals committee had an idea, and tonight we were all a part of that idea becoming a reality. We wanted to create a Wall of Fame to recognize individuals who have either went to school or graduated from a Tisdale school. We thought it fitting that the Wall of Fame be unveiled during Education Week. This year the theme is, Learning is for Everyone. We hope that everyone here tonight, especially our present students, will be inspired by the individuals and their accomplishments that are being celebrated this evening. Each individual being recognized exemplifies the true meaning of the theme, Learning is for Everyone. Each individual has within them the ability to become whatever they want, hope or dream to become. Learning is the common thread that binds each of us and the individuals being celebrated here tonight. Each person being recognized had to not only learn their skill, craft it as well as excel, but they also had to learn and overcome any obstacles that they encountered along the way. We all have varying abilities and interests. We are passionate about different things, but we all learn. And if we combine learning, passion, and motivation, as well as drive, we can accomplish great things, just as the 5 individuals here this evening that we are celebrating. These 5 individuals being celebrated are extraordinary. Their accomplishments are different, but we are equally proud of them all. They serve as role models, mentors, and a reminder that ordinary people can accomplish extraordinary things. Without any further ado, I would like to again turn the mic over to Mrs. Manson, who will take us through the remainder of the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cassavant, for your remarks and also for initiating the idea of the Wall of Fame. At Mr. Cassavant's suggestion, a committee was struck a year ago in September with a purpose that is twofold. The first is to recognize former students of TUCS and TMSS who have realized extraordinary achievement in athletics, academics, the arts, leadership, citizenship, volunteerism, and community service. The second goal of the Wall of Fame is to serve as an inspiration to current students. In order to be considered for this award, alumni must have achieved a readily recognizable and outstanding level of achievement and must have been nominated by someone outside of the committee. Tonight we will induct 5 initial members in alphabetical order, although only 1 or 2 members will be admitted in each subsequent year, beginning with the year 2008. Many of you will have noticed during your tour of the school this evening that permanent plaques paying tribute to our 5 2007 inductees have already been placed on our Wall of Fame. If you have not yet visited our Wall of Fame, please make sure you do. It can be found inside the main entrance of TMSS on the south wall, right across from the front office. And now, on with the show. Our first inductee tonight is Mr. Brent Leroy Butt. Known to many as Brent Leroy, he is creator, star, and executive producer of the award-winning television show Corner Gas, a comedy that reflects life in the rural Saskatchewan town of Dog River. Brent was born and raised in Tisdale, son of Irene and the late Herb Butt, and the youngest of 7 children. He graduated from TUCS in 1984. According to the Corner Gas Online, Brent decided to become a comedian after watching a stand-up comic on television. He immediately told his mother, "I'm going to be a comedian," to which she apparently replied, "Okay, do you think you could do that outside though?" Brent honed his comedic storytelling prowess with his friends at the local coffee shop. They would sit around literally for hours at a time, discussing everything from world domination to the most comfortable kind of socks. Then Brent performed stand-up comedy at a variety night and was hooked. When he was 20 years old, a comedy club opened in Saskatoon, and Brent moved to the city to pursue a career in humor. He moved swiftly through the ranks, and within 4 months of his first amateur night, he was offered a tour on the road. After only a year, he was headlining in Toronto, and in only 4 years, he was showcased in his own gala performance at the world's largest international comedy festival, Montreal's Just for Laughs. Brent has been the recipient of several major comedy awards, including a Canadian Comedy Award for Best Male Stand-Up in 2001, several Canadian Comedy Awards for Corner Gas, including Best Male Performance in 2004 and 5, and Best Writing in a Series in 2005. In addition to these, Brent has won Screenwriters Awards for Best Comedy or Variety in 2005 and 6, Gemini Awards for Best Comedy Program or Series, and Best Interactive in 2006. Finally, Brent received Leo Awards for Best Comedy or Variety and Best Performance or Host Awards in 2005 and 2006. Aside from collecting awards, Brent Butt may also be found hosting gala events. In 2005, he hosted a performance for the Queen, as well as the Juno Awards, and in 2006, he emceed the Gemini Awards. Brent has made his home in Vancouver for the past 13 years and is married to fellow Corner Gas actor Nancy Robertson. He still tours the country performing his unique brand of conversational stand-up comedy in between seasons of filming. "I love what I do," Brent says. "It's just like having coffee, only now it's with 1,000 or so people every time." Due to other commitments, Brent is unable to be with us tonight. However, his friend Blair Crowley will accept this award on his behalf. Then Brent will give his own personal acceptance on the screen you see at your left. Apparently that didn't sound very good. It's going to take a minute for us to get this up on our screen, but Brent's going to join us in a minute on the screen.
Hello everybody. Hi, back in Tisdale. I wish I could be there right now. I got a phone call the other day from Blair Crowley. That's one of the things I like with small towns, I said today. Blair, you know Blair called me? Blair Crowley phoned and he said that the committee had decided to put my picture on the Wall of Fame there, and I couldn't be more honored and more appreciative, and I wish I could be there for the night, for the whole ceremony, and I can't, unfortunately. They told me I'm not going to be doing it, and I'm going to be traveling, contracted, doing shows. Even with my high-priced lawyers, I couldn't get over the contracts to do the shows. So I can't be there, unfortunately, but I want to say in all seriousness and all sincerity, thank you very much for putting my picture on the wall, and I couldn't be more honored. And again, I'm sorry I couldn't be there. Blair, thanks for your call. I don't know how you got my number, but we were. See you all next time. I was going to say see you at Nibblers, but I guess that burned out. Main Street somewhere. Or I'll see you before we stop.
Please welcome Blair Crowley to accept for Brent Butt.
I just want to say that I noticed we share the same hairline. That hasn't changed. I'm very proud and honored to accept this on behalf of Brent. He would have liked to have been here. And just to let you know that he's still full-grown Tisdalian. Thank you.
The second inaugural member of the TMSS Wall of Fame is Dr. Douglas Degenstein. Doug was born in Wynyard to Ted and Gwen Degenstein and spent his first few years at Springside, Lanigan, and Regina before moving at 5 years of age to Tisdale, where he received all of his formative education. Doug, quarterback for 2 TUCS provincial championship football teams, graduated from TUCS in 1982. Guess who told me to say that? Doug went on to become an associate professor of physics and engineering physics at the University of Saskatchewan, where he earned his PhD. His thesis involved aspects of a technique used to get ozone information from the optical spectrograph and the infrared imager system instrument known as OSIRIS. Dr. Degenstein was awarded the U of S Students' Union Teaching Excellence Award in 2002, an award which recognizes enthusiasm, organization, and fairness of evaluation in teaching. In addition to this, Doug has chaired and participated in several important committees. He was co-principal investigator of OSIRIS, the Canadian-built content of an international satellite project attempting to map both outer space and the Earth's atmosphere. Doug was also chair of the Division of Aeronomy and Space Physics, Canadian Association, and coordinator of the 3rd annual Limb Scatter Workshop, held in Montreal in 2006, a workshop which included many scientists from all over the world. Dr. Degenstein has also presented a variety of papers related to OSIRIS measurement and interpretation at American and European Geophysical Union meetings and at the Quadrennial Ozone Symposium. The work Doug has done with OSIRIS has helped to improve the measurement and study of the phenomena of ozone depletion. Doug, His wife Laurel and their 2-year-old son Ben reside in Saskatoon, where Doug continues to teach at the university and Laurel is a nurse. Doug also pursues a variety of other interests, including rec hockey, 20 years of rugby with a team called the Gophers, a little golf, as well as some rather ambitious barbecuing and cooking endeavors. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Doug Dagenstein into the TMSS Wall of Fame.
Don't know what to say, so I'm going to keep this very short. I am very, very, very honored to be standing here in front of all of you today, especially with these other very worthy recipients, and Brent included, who I actually grew up with and was one of those people drinking coffee with him till 3 or 4 in the morning as he was honing his craft. I could tell you a little story about the suit that he wore, actually, for his first stand-up gig. He borrowed from John Solomon. No, I won't talk much more about Brent. I basically would just really like to say that I am very honored, very appreciative, and I guess spending 25 extra years at the University of Saskatchewan has actually been worth it. I actually have 25 more years to go, so some of you who are just graduating here will have me as a professor, and some of your children will have me as a professor. Hopefully that goes well for you and your children. It is physics, so it's not maybe, well, we'll just leave it till you guys get here. I guess in closing, I would just like to say once again, I'm very honored and thank you very much.
And now, a brief pause in the awards portion of this ceremony as the grade 12 drama class, under the direction of Ms. Fenton Irving, presents a fashion show retrospective of historical TUCS team uniforms.
Hello, fashion lovers! Welcome to the biggest fashion event of TMSS history. Woo! First, let's take you back to the 60s with Kaylee sporting a ravishing purple and gold uniform. Strutting herself down the runway next is Patty, wearing a masculine volleyball uniform. We all know whatever guys can do, girls can do better, or in this case, wear better. Out comes Chelsea, looking as fabulous as ever in a stunning baseball uniform, perfect for sliding into home. Taking us to the 70s and 80s is Tiffany, wearing a sharp basketball uniform. The light material makes this uniform great for physical activity. Now, gracing us with one of TMSS's, feeling a little chilled? Well, this marvelous sweater Stephanie has on is perfect for cold nights at the curling rink. Coming out next is Jalissa, wearing a fashionable girls softball uniform. Doesn't it just look amazing on her? Now, let's visit the 90s with Kaylee showing off a stunning guys basketball uniform. Wearing this might just make you the most fashionable player on the court. Walking down the runway is Patty in a lovely ladies' soccer uniform. The breathable uniform is great for running back and forth on the field. Strutting herself down the runway is Chelsea wearing a fabulous guys' basketball uniform. Don't you just love the uniqueness of this uniform? Now, here is a blast from the past. It's Tippo the Hippo bringing sexy back. Now, gracing us with one of TMS's most present uniforms is Tiffany, wearing a lavishing volleyball uniform. Out comes Stephanie, wearing a fierce soccer uniform. Notice how the black and white colors look marvelous with her complexion. Looking very sporty in a girls' basketball uniform, great for shooting hoops. Lastly, shaking his stuff on the runway is Raja, showing us what fashion is all about. Now let's give a round of applause to the models as they strut themselves down the runway one more time. All fashion outfits are available from TMSS and TUCS Fashion Line.
Thanks to Miss Van Nerving and her class for providing a little walk down memory lane. I wonder how some of the alumni who once wore those uniforms would look in them now. But perhaps that's something better left to the imagination. I didn't go to school here, but one of those basketball uniforms had my number, and I had a horrible personal moment as I tried to imagine myself in it. Our third and youngest inductee into the inaugural TMSS Wall of Fame is Calum Ryan Keys, son of Chris and Garth Keys. Calum was born in 1982 at the Tisdale Union Hospital and received all of his education in Tisdale. He graduated from TMSS in 2002. Calum joined Special Olympics at 15 years of age and has never looked back. His impressive achievements include 5 medals acquired at National Special Olympic Games held in Prince Albert in 2002, which qualified him for the World Games. When Calum traveled to Dublin, Ireland to compete in World Special Olympic Summer Games, the hearts of virtually everyone in Tisdale went with him, and we were not disappointed. Calum brought home a gold in high jump and a silver in shot put, and our buttons were bursting with pride. When Calum, Chris, and Garth arrived home, our community held a parade and we celebrated. It was something we will always remember. Calum loves to swim and to participate in the annual Tisdale Hockey Draft Tournament. He golfs in his spare time and is well known as the #1 fan of Jerome McGinley and the Calgary Flames. Calum, who is now employed at the Co-op in the A&W, resides in Tisdale, where he has become a role model for other young people, particularly those with challenges but big dreams. Along with his family, Calum raises money each year to support Special O athletes. This year, he managed to get 8 Calgary Flames players to sign a hockey jersey, then raffle it off to raise funds for Special O. If you know Calum, you know that giving that away must have been hard. Congratulations, Calum. Please come up and accept your award.
I'd like to thank the committee for choosing me to be on the Wall of Fame, and it's been really, really, really nice living in this town. And I'd like to say thanks to all my coaches friends, family, for getting me all through this thing. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Our next recipient became one of the most elite 400 and 800 meter runners, not only in Canada, but also in the world. Born in Lanigan, Saskatchewan, Brian Thompson, son of Marilyn and the late John Thompson, was raised and educated in Tisdale. Brian is a 1982 TUCS alumni who captured the Saskatchewan High School Provincial Senior Boys 400 meter title in 1981, as well as sharing in the zone victory in the 4x400 at Provincial High School Championships. He then went on to dominate as a university runner over a 4-year period from 1983 to 1987. He won Canada University and Canada West medals at 600 meters and 1,000 meters, and also enjoyed success as a member of Saskatchewan relay teams. His clocking at 600 meters of 1 minute 17.0 seconds, achieved at the Pan Am Games between Canadian and American colleges in 1985, was the fastest in the world that year. Brian was an 8-time medalist and 3-time All-Star with the University of Saskatchewan Huskies at the Canada West Championships. He was 3rd in 600 meters in 1983 and 2nd in both 1984 and 1985. After sitting out a season because of injuries, he came in 1st in the 600 meter final in 1987. Brian also ran in the Canadian Inter-University Championship, where he won 3rd in 600 meters in 1983 and in 1984, and 2nd in 1985, as well as taking 3rd in 100 meters in 1985. He won the Canadian Championships for 600 meters in 1987, the fastest ever in Canadian Inter-University finals. He also shared in several gold and silver medals as a member of relay teams between 1983 and 1987. Brian's university career ended brilliantly in 1987 when the U of S Husky track team was crowned Canadian champions. Away from the university meets, Brian finished 2nd in 800 meters at the Canadian Championships in 1986, which set the stage for his appearance at the British Commonwealth Games at Edinburgh, Scotland, where he competed against world-class runners such as Sebastian Coe and Steve Cram. Brian was a Husky Salute inductee in 2002 and a Saskatchewan Sport Hall of Fame inductee in 2003. Recently, he was admitted into the Husky Hall of Fame as a member of the 1987 National Championship track team. He is married to Wendy and has one daughter, Alyssa. They live in Saskatoon, where Brian has been a physiotherapist since his retirement from competitive sports in 1987. Please join me in welcoming Brian Thompson to the TMSS Wall of Fame.
Thank you. Congratulations to all the other inductees. Thank you to the committee for inducting me into the Wall of Fame. It's great to be back in Tisdale. I just wanted to share one story of my time back at TUCS. Bill Zorn will probably remember this one. It was before grade 10, I really wasn't much of an athlete. I was a skinny little kid, really didn't play a lot of organized sports. And I tried out for the volleyball and basketball teams that year, and I was fortunate enough for the coaches to take a chance on me, and I was able to play for those teams. And first season of basketball, this is our first game in Melfort. We've had a couple practices. I'd never played a organized basketball game in my life. And about 3/4 of the way through a game in Melfort, Bill Zorn calls me and puts me out on the floor. So I'm a little nervous, and I'm on the floor. And one of our teammates, Kirk Samita, turns, he fakes one way, he goes to pass me the ball. And this is going to be my defining moment for sports in TUCS, right? And no, I didn't catch the ball and drive in through for a layup, and I didn't pull up and make a 30-foot jumper. I turned, I ducked, and the ball rolled out of bounds. Really impressed the coaches. But they stuck with me, and we ended up having a pretty good basketball team that year. And it was probably through the encouragement of the coaches in high school that gave me the confidence to work hard in sport. I still remember hours, it seemed like hours of lines that we would run, that Don DeMarsh would stand there with a whistle, back and forth and back and forth. But probably at that time, there was no track program in Tisdale. I understand there's a great one here now. The only track there was back in Tisdale at that time was once a year, Bill would walk around the outside of the football field dragging a chalk line. And when you look down the 100-meter lines that he'd made for the sports day, you get dizzy because they go in and out, side to side. But it was a good reason to skip class. And I guess the biggest thing I have to say is certainly I do attribute my time back in high school to giving me the confidence that hard work can help you excel in sport. My parents were fortunate enough to talk me out of getting a part-time job in grade 11 and missing out on that, and I thank them for that. The sport's taken me a lot of places around the world, and I've met a lot of friends, and I don't think without the opportunities that I had back at TUCS and the encouragement from my coaches, I would have had the confidence to try and work hard and make it where I did. So I hold a special place at the old TUCS in part of my success. So I'd like to thank the teachers and coaches from back then for helping me out in that way. So, and thank you again for this honor. I'm very happy to be back, and it's nice to see many old friends again. Thank you.
Now Ms. Fenton Irving's grade 12 drama class has agreed to provide us with another walk down memory lane, perhaps as they imagine it will be for them one day. It's a skit entitled Class Reunion.
I love this song! I know! Hi, guys!
Hey! How's it going?
Good!
Yeah! Any girls yet? Not yet.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, so, what have you guys been doing for a living?
Well, dude, with the comic book convention! Wow, that's really cool, I guess. I'm just farming a 1,000 acres of land.
Wow, that's not interesting.
Shot, Mr. Big Shot. What are you doing?
Oh, nothing too big. I just bought Microsoft off of Bill Gates.
What did he say, Dad? I don't know, but it sounds like he makes a lot of money.
Thanks.
Buddy?
Oh. Well, you guys remember that guy back in high school who thought he was so good at playing his guitar? Yeah, what was his name again?
I think it was Kenny Brandt.
Hey, wait a minute. Doesn't that guy on stage look like him? I think that is him.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, buddy.
Long time no see. What have you guys been up to?
Farming as usual, you?
Well, I just finished up the tour with the Alabama Headhunters.
The who?
No, not who. The Alabama Headhunters. They're a country band.
Yeah, well, me and Earl are on tour too.
Oh, you guys have a band?
What do you think we are? Nerds?
Yeah, we're on tour at the comic book convention, silly.
Hey, you guys remember Susan?
Yeah, she was smoking. Whoa, is that her?
Hey guys.
That is her!
Who? Where?
Oh my god, it's Susan!
Hi. Hey. What are you doing 20 years? Living the party life.
Hey, where's Susan? Have you guys seen Susan?
No.
She's over there.
You snitch?
That's Piffles, the classical bully.
Yeah, that's her. You gotta hide me.
Why?
I stole $10 from her in high school.
That's you. Hey, I want my money.
That was 10 years ago. Plus, I already gave you half of what I owe.
That's not good enough.
I'm gonna go play some music now.
Let's dance! You wanna dance? Oh.
There's so much drama in school reunions.
Thanks to the grade 12 drama students for their amusing insights into class reunions. Often, the people we've met along the way are the inspiration for the direction we take in life. Our Provincial Education Week theme, Learning is for Everyone, acknowledges that there is a place and a need in society for every individual and his or her gifts. It is with great pleasure that we continue our recognition of those talents tonight. Our final inductee, Vanessa Van Scoor, has traveled Africa and Asia for more than 10 years as a member of the international group Doctors Without Borders. Vanessa is a 1987 graduate of TUCS and the daughter of Teenie and Mary Van Scoor. Vanessa studied at the universities of Amsterdam and Toronto to become a medical anthropologist. Her last field assignment was managing the MSF mission in Darfur, aiding the hundreds of thousands who arrived in makeshift camps by providing medical attention, food, and water, as well as speaking out about mass violations of human rights and dignity. Her chosen path has been challenging and at times even dangerous. In her first week as head of mission in Darfur, she rode out with others to one of the project sites. On the way, they were met by 20 men on camels and horses. Most were carrying weapons. All of their supplies, medical materials, and personal possessions were taken. However, Vanessa feels that the calculated risks they took in driving through a dangerous area were small compared to what local staff has to face every day. The Doctors Without Borders website quotes her as saying, "The people of Darfur are not weak at all. They have taken on more than you can imagine. And if you help one person by treating that person or by giving medical supplies or even a bucket of water, that person will turn around and use those things to help the community." Although she enjoyed her frontline work, in November 2006, Vanessa took a position in Amsterdam headquarters as an operational manager, putting her in charge of operations in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Sudan, and Zambia, ensuring availability of medical support and supplies to people most in need. In spite of her contributions, Vanessa humbly attributes the results as well as her inspiration to the Sudanese, Timorese, Mozambicans, Burmese, Ivorians, and Liberians, as well as to others with whom she has worked. She says, humanitarian action is about one human being seeing the humanity in another person and seeing that the person is in need. It's an innate response of wanting to help. Her work with Doctors Without Borders has allowed her not only to save lives, but also to inspire other people. Vanessa is an inspiration to all of us. We are so pleased that she has come all this way to join us tonight. It is our honor to induct Vanessa Van Scoor into the TMSS Wall of Fame.
For me, it's a great honor to be inducted, especially with the amazing people who are going on the wall with me tonight as well. Unfortunately, Brent's not here, and I actually had a Brent story as well, because I was a few years behind him. And I wanted to talk about one day when we were in the arcade, and he grabbed one of my notebooks and he signed his name in it, and he said, "This is going to be for one day when I'm famous, you'll have my autograph." And so now I spend my life going around to the field and taking corner gas videos to everyone and trying to induct them into what life in Tisdale is like, and they're actually very popular. For me, it's really nice being able to come back, and it was important to be here for this night because Tisdale's a place that's actually taught me a lot, and it's nice to be able to come back and say thank you to people. You know, I've learned here how to be tolerant, how to help others, how to work really hard, and how to have lots of fun. And so I was lucky when I left here after graduating from TUCS. I went to Toronto. When I was at university, one of the guys that I was studying with saw me doing a bunch of anti-war protests, and he told me that an organization called Doctors Without Borders was starting up in Canada and asked me if I wanted to come and help out in the office. So I started volunteering there. And from there I started working in communications for them. So I was there when Sarajevo was being bombed, when Somalia was in the midst of a famine, and when the genocide happened in Rwanda. So finally I got my chance to go to the field, and you've seen some of the pictures of some of the places I've worked with, and there's an amazing amount of incredible people that I've had the honor of working with, and you know, trying to get them to get their lives back on track, and they do an amazing amount of things. So again, I really want to just say thank you to my family, to my friends, to the teachers, and to the community who taught me that you really can make a difference. Thanks.
This brings to a close our inaugural TMSS Wall of Fame ceremony. We thank you for sharing this important evening with us and encourage you to consider nominating a special individual who has made an outstanding contribution. Nomination forms will be immediately available on the TMSS website or at the TMSS front office. We would ask that you please stack your chairs in groups of 10 in order to assist our maintenance staff in the cleanup tonight. Good night. We look forward to seeing you next year to celebrate our second annual event.